Hi, Girlinos. This is going to be my updated tour schedule. I'm on tour. Come see me live. May 28th to the 24th, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. May 29th to the 31st, I'm in North Charleston, South Carolina. June 5th, I'm in Hartford, Connecticut. June 11th, Syracuse, New York. June 12th, Albany, New York. June 7th and 8th, messed that up, I'm in Hoboken, New Jersey. June 18th, I'm in Chicago, Illinois. June 20th through 21st, I'm in Denver, Colorado. June 26th to the 28th, I'm in Buffalo, New York. July 25th to the 26th, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. August 29th to the 31st, I'm in Seattle, Washington. And November 14th and 15th, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Tickets available now on my punch-up link on my bio on my Instagram and TikTok.
If I was a girl, I'd run the city, kissing boys in the street, hiking up my mini. Back in high school, would have been the girl to beat. Football player's number on my cheek, cheating on him with his best friend Pete. Small town moms calling me fast, but I rode him slow in the backseat. It would have been a blast. Feeling girly and Shirley, you know all of this is made up, 'cause I'm just a gay guy who's a little high, feeling a little girly, feeling a little girly.
Welcome to Feelin Girlie. I'm your host, Dylan Carlino. Hi, girls. Welcome to Feelin Girlie, my girlinos. Hello to all my tier 1 and tier 2 girls. Okay, I'm Dylan Carlino. I'm going to be your host today. Give it up for Ariel and Josh in the studio. We have our incredible producers here today. We're having a wonderful morning, I would say. I woke up late. Ariel came here. She started crying. But everything's okay, and we're here now. We're all a little stressed out, and well, me and Josh were up very late. Well, we were all up very late. Yeah. Ariel lost. You were on a. How late was your flight delayed?
It was like 6 hours or something.
6 hours. Ariel didn't get back till 4 o'clock in the morning. Me and Josh were at a very divisive game night until I didn't leave until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you guys, and then I couldn't sleep when I got home. Oh my God. I forgot. I came up with a really great idea for a TV show that I wrote down at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll tell you about it afterwards. But I actually, do you ever like lay in bed and you like immediately, I don't know if this happens to you girls, because I don't know if you guys are creative, but like, I mean, we're all creative beings, but I don't know if you're tapped into it. Some of you guys are just logged off mentally. And, you know, well, I do believe that we all have special gems within us, but then you meet people and you go like, oh, you're fully on autopilot. Not me. I'm laying in bed and I thought of an idea and I was like, and I like had to write down all of this stuff just in case it's ever something, you know, because I'm in the entertainment business, and this is what you want is to be like on the Kelly Clarkson show and being like, yeah, one night I was just sleeping, this idea popped into my head and I jumped out of bed to write it down. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is because I actually think it's so good and I don't want one of you bitches to steal it. But me and Josh were at a game night last night that went very, very late. And it was great. It was with our good group of friends. I would say I love our group of friends in this city. It actually was really nice because I was just in Portland this past weekend. And thank you if you came out to the Portland shows. The girls and gays and everybody was absolutely incredible the whole weekend. We did have some issues with people yelling out, as always, as at all of my shows. And my openers are always like, do they always yell out like that? I go, they do. They do yell out like that. And then I have to reprimand them. I did have to yell at one girl. And if you're listening, you know, I felt like I gave her a good piece of advice afterwards. But because I was in Portland and I was doing my female police officer joke, which is one of my favorite jokes that I do. It's very, very fun. And before I could hit the punchline, I was like, she goes, A-cab, A-C-A-B. And the whole room got silent. And I was so proud of Portland because they all went like, oh. Where I feel like a couple of years ago, they would have cheered for her. But I think everyone's so beaten down by society that they were just kind of like, we were here to have a good time. And you just, yelled that out. Because what people don't understand if they've never been to a comedy show before is that, like, yeah, I'm going to bring up a subject and then I have punchlines. Do you hear me? Look me in the camera. I have punchlines. I don't need you to yell things out. It's so annoying. And I got pissed on stage. This rarely happens where I genuinely get mad on stage, where I was like, you just fucked up my joke. Like, you just like messed up my joke completely. And I literally told the audience, I go like, oh, well, now I can't finish the bit. Like now I'm now I'm pissed. And they were all kind of like weird or whatever. And I was like, and by the way, ACAB girl, I go, just so you know, because I'm not like doing a political stance right now. What I'm doing is, you think that you're doing something revolutionary to yell this out, although you're just a dumb white bitch who's screaming out at a comedy show, ruining a good time that everybody saw tickets and bought tickets to be here, and you're interrupting it to make it about you. You don't care about ACAB. You don't care about the police. You don't care about any of that. You care about attention, and you care about getting attention for yourself. And I go, if you want to do something, why don't you go out in the world and help the homeless people in your city that are struggling through these streets right now, okay? But you're not going to do that. You're going to yell out at a comedy show to feel superior. And that got a big applause. And I was like, yeah, that's what I thought, bitch. And you probably thought, wow, she probably felt really embarrassed after you did that. Well, she was the first person in line to take a picture afterwards. So she couldn't have been too embarrassed, could she? I love that. Every time I reprimanded somebody on show, they always still stay and get a picture every single time.
That's so funny.
And she was like, I yelled out. She was hammered. She was like, sorry about yelling out. I was like, no worries. And then she kept being like, I'm so sorry. I feel embarrassed or whatever. And I was like, hey, this was the piece of advice I gave her that I thought was so good. I was like, hey, your punishment was me yelling at you in front of everybody else. I go, now let it go. There's no reason to double down and beat yourself up afterwards because I already reprimanded you. It's over. Now let's take our picture and have a good time.
And I have merch, by the way.
And if you want a sticker, they're donation based. Which, okay, side note, girls, you bitches have been stealing my stickers, okay?
Really?
The girls are stealing the stickers. And you little klepto 13-year-old girls, this isn't Rude 21. You're not stealing thongs, okay? You're stealing my stickers. And it's crazy because at first I was leaving them out next to the picture stuff with my Venmo thing up and being like, yeah, I go, they're donation based. So like, and I guess they thought if they're donation based, that means you could also just take one. No, that's not how donation based works. Okay, you have to at least. And I always say, you could give $1. And I'd kind of watch them as they were taking them. And then some nice girl looked at me and she goes, these girls are stealing your stickers. And I was like, I know. But I'm not going to be like, hey, you're stealing my stickers. Yeah, because that's embarrassing. And she was like, that's fucked up. And I was like, I know. But she goes, no, I'm going to say something. I go, don't say anything.
No, I'm going to say something.
I go, that's so sweet of you. And then she was like, and I think she ended up sending me like $20. She's like, I'm going to make up for all the girls that stole them. And I go, you don't have to do that. That's how girls are. One pays the price for the others. And it's not fair. And I didn't want her to do that, but she did. And so then I had to have my friend and opener, Julia Krell, stand with the stickers. And she was like, I didn't even realize it because she was such like a military person about it. She'd be like, do you want a sticker? And they would like try to take it. And they try to like grab one on the way out and she'd be like, that's $5. And I just thought that was so funny that that's $5. And I was just like taking pictures and I was like, oh, she's forcing people to do $5. I was like, normally I'm like, girls, you could send $1, you know, and whatever. And she's like, $5. I was like, oh wow, she's really tight with the money. I was like, and then I ended up making a lot more from that. So I was like, well, I actually do appreciate that. By the way, the stickers are kind of expensive. So I do appreciate that. Portland was really interesting though because I lived there for 4 years, and so but the whole time I was there I was like drinking and doing drugs. So it was like, I wonder if you feel this way when you just went back to Florida or whatever, where it's like the whole time you're there it's like everywhere you go is like a ghost. It's like you have memories in every single corner of whatever, and it's such a strange feeling to be walking around in a city that you used to live in, but you don't live in anymore, because it's like nothing has changed, yet everything has changed, and you've changed. You feel completely different. I was very proud of Portland. They had really cleaned up the downtown. Like when I left downtown, it was like all boarded up, and the downtown had been taken over by the homeless. And apparently they're actually like dealing with the homeless problem in like a really humane way. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, it was definitely strange being back, and I can't really like pinpoint the feeling that I was having. Like it was like not nostalgia, but it was like, I don't know, it didn't feel good. It felt like interesting. I don't know how to explain it. I don't even know if I should talk about this on here, but I got breakfast with my ex and his girlfriend, and I don't really talk about him that much. This is one of those exes that like I talked about him so much before, during, and after our relationship that there's almost no words that I could even speak about the situation that would, one, make sense, or two, like, hold any weight. I don't even know. You know when you've like, I like used my word count about like every word I could was allotted for this man I have used, and now there's like nothing left to say. And because it was like a very interesting situation of like we were best friends, and then he was like straight or whatever, but I was always like, there's something here, and then I was like in love with him or whatever, and then I was like, I'm in love with you, and he was like, I know. He was like, I'm not gay, but I wish I was. And then, you know, and then whatever, he was like, I do have feelings for you, whatever. It's a whole nightmare of a situation. Anyways, we ended up like driving across the country together after we broke up. Like it's a sick situation. And, but his new girlfriend is lovely, and we had gotten drinks a couple of years ago as well. But there is still, and nothing bad to say about either one of them. But even that, there's something so strange about like hanging out with your ex and their new partner, because you're like, I'm so happy for you guys, and you guys are both great, and we're all friends. And also, it's weird.
It's so weird.
It's weird.
It's crazy to do that. I've never done that.
Whose idea was it?
This is the problem, is that like me and him were like best. The only way I can describe this guy is that like, and this is like woo woo. It's like past life stuff. It just is. Like I remember when the first place I ever saw him, I walked into a bar and he was sitting there. I can still in my mind see it. It was like the way my life changed meeting this man was like, it was so strange. Even when we were just friends and like he was straight and I was just his friend, we were like, we'd constantly talk about how it was like, it felt like from the moment we met, it was like we were jumping off right where we had left off, but we had never met before. And so we always felt like past life stuff, and it's always felt that way. But it's still just strange. And it's one of those things that's like, the past is always gonna be there, and I don't know. It's just it's not like I have no feelings for him obviously anymore, but yeah, it's a very strange feeling to be like across the table with a man that you were once in love with. And how strange is it that someone that like literally I used to like cry myself asleep thinking about, you're like, oh, I don't feel that way at all anymore, but still there's something there that's kind of like, fuck you.
Well, it's like the history.
Yeah.
It's the history. You
Yeah.
can't, yeah. I don't think I've
It's
ever...
a real Connell and Marianne situation if you've ever seen Normal People, you know? Oh, you've never seen Normal People?
No.
Oh, you have.
It's sad, isn't it?
It's better than sad. It's devastating.
Oh my god.
It's not sad. It's absolutely like, it's very like, and I'm not Connell in this situation. I'm Marianne. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. I bet if we were at school together, you'd pretend not to know me. I would never pretend to not know you, Connell. It's so good. It's really crazy. I wish I could explain. If you have not watched Normal People, please, it is the honor of your life to get your heart broken by this TV show. But it's very much that. But yeah, there is a scene in Normal People that I think about all the time, which is kind of like a lot like our relationship, where it was like, because they dated in high school. They were secretly fucking in high school. And she was like the rich girl that everybody hated. And he was like the poor kid that like was very popular. And they were secretly fucking, and he was keeping her as a secret. And then they like, whatever, they call like their like prom the Debs. And she's like, they're back. And then they go to college together. And he's like, she's like, did you ever think about asking me to the Debs? And he's like, no, I didn't even think to do that. And it's like the thought of like, you didn't even think of me as an option for the Debs. And she was like, yeah, it was just like humiliating our relationship. And that's kind of how I feel about this guy. Like our relationship was kind of humiliating, not because it would be humiliating to be in a relationship with him, but like what I put up with and like changed myself into to be in a relationship with this guy, and like what I sacrificed were like truly pieces of myself is like pathetic. You know what I mean? And I think that's how I felt about it. And so there is that part of him where it's kind of like, it's not his fault. And he didn't ask me to do any of that, but I did it to myself. And so when I'm with him, I'm like, I love this guy so much, like as a friend, but also I remember like literally separating myself to make myself into a version of what he could ingest. And it was just like, it's always, I think that part's always going to be like, that resentment's always going to be there. But It was a lovely breakfast, and also it kind of makes it feel better when you're a little famous now. And you're like, and I am here for my 5 sold out shows, so that was great.
And we will be splitting the bill.
And
she was the one that ordered the drinks, so put those on her tab.
By the way, no, she's lovely actually. She's a wonderful girl and very smart and beautiful. But not to be like bringing this up, but I love picking up the tab. I love to pick up the tab. If you're out to dinner with me, honey, I'm picking up the tab. And now that I have a little extra money, this is why I won't have money for long, because every restaurant I go to right now, I'm like, I got it. There is such a power move with picking up the tab. It's not even a power move, but like I think this is how poor people feel, where it's like, well, now that I have a little bit of money, it would be crazy to not pick up the tab. Like, it's like, these are my friends, especially now all my friends are comedians, they have no money. I'm like, please, I would love to buy dinner. And everyone's like, whoa. Whoa. It's great.
That reminds me of, I've told you about this, but my dad won like $3,000 on the lottery.
Hilarious.
And then he just
nothing, by the way, pennies.
Yes, pennies. And then instead of like paying off our house or like financing the car or whatever, he just like bought 2 AK-47s. And it's just like, dude, I'm paying off community college still.
That's so well. You know what? Honestly, though, I get that. That is, you didn't grow up rich, though, right?
No.
But that's the thing.
My dad played. But that's $3,000.
But this is why
2 fucking AKs.
I know, but I get that so much, because like, if you don't have money, it's like, and you get $3,000 is not going to change your life. Sure, you could pay off a couple of months of your mortgage and be like, but you know how to get by
with what you're doing.
So that $3,000 is just fucking spending money. Like because I feel like literally, I would say up until about 3 months ago, as I always say, was like scrounging for pennies to buy cigarettes. So it's like, now it's like, yeah, well, I mean, like, I know how to be poor, so I might as well just buy whatever I want now. And I don't really buy anything, but I would also buy 2 AK-47s if I got $3,000 instead of paying off my house, because that makes sense to me. Because if I have $100 in my savings account and that's it, that means that I can go for an $80 dinner, because it's like, the $100 isn't going to make a difference either way. And I know that's, you know what I mean? Like, I'll figure it out. If I have to pay rent, I'll find the extra $100, but I can go out to dinner tonight. Yeah. And that's how my money makes sense to me. I also went to, I actually have something to say. I went to Sephora yesterday or 2 days ago with my lesbian roommates. The day I got back, we went to Sephora, and I don't like the girls at Sephora, and I don't like the girls that work at Sephora. You know what I realized? I'm an Ulta girl, because I'll tell you this about the Sephora girls. They're really peppy about helping you. And then the minute you actually need something, they're like, I actually don't know. And you're like, I'm pretty sure it's your job to know. And I was looking for a tinted sunscreen. And then she was like, she goes, what kind did you want? And I told her the brand I want. She goes, we don't sell that. I go, okay, we'll do something like comparable to that. And she was like, and then I was like, do you know like which one? Because there was like different shades of it. The one she brought me to. I was like, do you know which one would like match my skin tone? She was like, no. I was like, okay. And then we just like put it out on my hand, and it's sunscreen, so it like immediately just fades right in. And then I was like, great. And that's the one I got, and I hate it. And it's on my face right now, and I'll still use it every single day, because for some reason I always think that when I put tinted sunscreen on, that it's gonna like change my life. I do. I always think I'm gonna have this like iridescent glow about me, and then I just like look in the mirror after an hour, and I'm like, oh no, your face is still red and puffy, so you can't change that. But yeah, I don't like Sephora. I don't like the energy in Sephora. I think that I'm an Ulta girl and through, and that's just, I think the girls at Ulta are a little more humble, I'll be honest. I think they're not. I think the girls at Sephora think they're pretty good. I also bought a Fenty face wash. Oh, I know. I felt so crazy. It was like $40.
Really?
Yeah. It was Cherry Dub. Have you ever tried that? Rihanna. It's Rihanna's company, and she was on the packaging, and I thought, I could spend $40 for Rihanna. And so that made me feel really good about myself.
They make other things, like if you want like a tinted sunscreen, but like more than just a sunscreen, like it'll make your face like glowy. Like if that's kind of like what you're looking for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you actually want to hear about manifestation. I can't say the brand or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I was looking for a very specific tinted sunscreen that I love. It's one of my favorite ones. I used it for years, and I haven't used it in like 6 months. And then all of a sudden, the other day, I was like, "Oh, I want that tinted sunscreen," but I haven't had it in like 8 months. And I didn't find it, and so I bought the other one. The next day, I opened up my email, and that company for that tinted sunscreen had reached out to my management about doing a branded deal for Pride Month. And I was like, that's the manifestation, like, or like in the air stuff. I'm very psychically connected. And so I thought that was like crazy. That I hadn't thought about it in like 8 months, and then the day I thought about it, the next day I got a thing for it. But we'll see if it actually goes through, because you know sometimes those brand deals don't really go through, girls. I also do have kind of a feeling where I kind of want to slow down on the brand deals, because I have been posting a lot of them recently, and I feel like people are getting annoyed. I was like, I have to stop posting them. Like, and yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. What are we at time wise?
19.
Okay, that's pretty good. Should we move over to emails? Yeah. Okay, I love that. Okay, so I went kind of far back in the emails because I realized I had missed some of you girls, and so. Although, you know how you don't hate about email? God forbid you want to see from the beginning. And they're like, no, I can show you till April 23rd. And you're like, well, no, that was just like not less than a month ago.
Really? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Well, you have to like do the settings, and I don't really know how to do.
Oh.
I mean, should I try to do the settings right now? That seems like a bad idea. Oh, no. Okay, don't be mad at me.
What?
No, I'm just like, why does email do this to you? It's so annoying. Okay, I'm just going to pick one, and we're just going to go. I'm sorry.
We can figure it out.
Okay, we can figure that out. This one's called Bi and Struggling. We have so many bisexuals here. And we're happy you're here, but you know. Enjoy your straight relationship. Okay. Hi, Dylan. Don't use my name. Ha ha. You don't have to write ha ha. Not ready for anybody I know to hear this. First off, I love the podcast. I joined the Patreon last night, and I absolutely love how unhinged it is. It definitely makes work way more fun. Okay, thank you so much to my tier 1 girls, patreon.com/Dylan Carlino. Wait, no. That's not the Patreon. Patreon.com/Dylan Carlino. It's patreon.com/Feelin Girlie. My dilemma right now is that I'm 99% sure I'm bi, but I don't know what to do about it. Okay, I grew up Mormon. Oh, that sucks. I didn't even kiss a guy until I was 19, and then only ever dated guys, and now I'm engaged to a guy. I love him so much. I'd never leave him for a girl, but I do regret not exploring my sexuality in my teens and college, because I feel like I can't. My friends recently asked me straight out if I'm bi, because Insta has that feature where you can see what reels your friends have liked, and you can definitely kind of out me as bi. Yeah, that's so real. That's so fucked up that Instagram did that. It was like, oh, here's all the reels that your friend likes. And because you know what? Here's the thing. I like things on Instagram reels that I don't, agree with. And but are like, I think conservative people on Instagram are so funny because they like think they're like killing it, and they're humiliating themselves with their like propaganda. And so I like it, so I get more of it. And then people probably think I'm like alt-right, but I'm like, that's not the case whatsoever. I'm just like, I think watching them humiliate themselves is great. But yeah, sometimes I also look at that to, what's crazy? I do that to see if any of the guys that I think are hot who are straight are liking like bulge pic vids or anything like that. But I never see that. And I'm only doing it for one specific guy. And I didn't know what to say because I've never been asked that before. And I wasn't sure if I could say yes. That's how you know that you're Mormon, if your friend's like, are you bi? Because it's such an inappropriate question that a liberal person would never ask you. Also, that probably means that you've been like drunk and been like touching girls' shoulders. I have a friend who like every time she gets drunk, she's like gets really close to the other girls' faces, and when she's not around, they're all like, she's bi. She like wants to fuck all of us when she's drunk, and that's you. I didn't know what to say because I've never been asked that before and wasn't sure if I could say yes because I've never been with a girl and never will unless I end up single again, which I'd rather not go through another breakup. So LOL. So, okay. So I don't feel like I'm allowed to be bi. I guess it's the best way to describe it because I'm most likely ever going to be straight relationship. My friends haven't brought it up to me and I kind of want to talk about it. They're both bi girls, so they would get it, but I don't know how to start the conversation. Also, if I tell them, I feel like I should tell my fiance, and I just don't know how to do that either. Just looking for advice. I guess I have no point to how to embrace myself. I guess I love you, Dylan. Thank you. Of course, here's pictures. Here's me with my 2 friends, and then a picture of me and my fiance. Just me again for fun. Okay, fun. Okay. Yeah. So just by the way, looking at your pictures, you're bi. Yeah. So you're bisexual. Okay. So this is super easy. So this conversation is: are you allowed to be bi? That's not really like. You just are or you are. Being sexually attracted to women isn't like, you don't have to prove anything to be bisexual. When people make fun of bisexual women for like prodding bisexuality, in my case or whatever, in the comedy world, we make fun of them because there are girls who like have never been with a woman before, yet they're on the gay shows, or they're like promoting them. I know like comedians who are like promoting themselves online as bisexual to gain followers, and they're in straight relationships and have never been with women, and that I think is like deplorable, because you're like using this thing to self-identify with a group of people that you are actually not doing anything. You know what I mean? Like, you're asking a community to follow you because of this identity that you have not yet explored, which I think is really disgusting. Now, you are an everyday citizen who grew up Mormon and just like marrying your husband and probably a bisexual. I don't think there's any, you're allowed to be bi because you are bi. Also, you think like, I think people think, oh, well, I'm in a straight relationship and like this, men are very open to threesomes with women. Like there are so, I would actually say that you're kind of saying like, I'm bi, but what's the point? I think that like, if you open this can of worms, I think that it can make you and your husband's or fiance's life much more fun, because I'm sure he would be down to have a threesome with another girl. I don't know what guy wouldn't be down to have a threesome with another girl. Am I wrong here? Well, Josh,
I would disappoint. I don't think I don't have game 7 energy with that one.
Take yourself out of this. Yeah. Because you have like low self-esteem or whatever.
I got small balls. I can't small balls. I can't produce enough.
Yeah, but most men, most men would love to have a threesome with they're like bisexual. Guys like love like lesbian porn. Like, I'm telling you, like, if you tell your husband, like, he's gonna be like, but then that kind of sucks, because then your whole sexual identity is like for his pleasure, which I don't love that. Maybe he'd let you fuck girls on the side by yourself. Either way, it's all up to you if you want to tell. I mean, there's no way to explore it. Maybe like watch. I'm sure you're watching lesbian porn, just fucking jiggling that clip. But honey, it's jingle bells every single day down there with the girls. Okay,
remix.
It's just masked lesbians fingering themselves.
Changing the oil.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I feel like what I just said was kind of manipulative to kind of be like, oh yeah, have your tell your husband so you guys can have threesomes or whatever. But then, I mean, maybe you don't care about that kind of stuff. Maybe you're like kind of a girl. Sometimes like in these liberal cities, like, my bisexuality is not for my husband's pleasure, but like you just kind of seem like you're trying to get your rocks off. So I say fuck it. Tell your friends who are bi, they're totally gonna understand. Tell your fiance, be like, and maybe tell him while you guys are like. Don't make it like you don't have to like sit down and be like, I'm bi. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe like when you guys are like hooking up, you can be like verbal dirty talking, be like, it would be crazy if we had another girl in here and like me and her started touching herself. I feel like that's kind of cool. Ariel, are you bi?
No.
Oh, great. And so sorry, we have 2 straight people here and 1 gay guy, so that does make 1 bisexual person as a whole.
2 parts straight, 1 part gay.
Yeah.
That's the ratio.
That's the ratio. I do feel like though you can be bi and just I don't think you have to make it some big deal. I don't think you need to like come out and make this big declaration, because the thing about being bi is like, it's the one sexuality that you don't get an identity with. You just get to still stay normal people. And you know what I mean? Because like when you're gay, you get the identity. Like when you're a gay guy, you get this voice and you cross your legs like this, and you like things like pop stars and women. And like and then when you're like a full lesbian, you're like masked and you love tattoos and motorcycles and things like that. But when you're just bi, you just get to stay presenting straight, but you do fun sexual stuff. It's kind of like undercover gay. And I think that's so special for you. I think tell your fiance, I feel like it's the same advice. Tell your friends, tell your fiance, you don't need to make it a big deal. Being bisexual is not the end of the world, or like honestly that big of a deal. So I'm sure to you it feels like a big deal, but like, just fucking tell your husband and I think have a threesome with him and like finger a girl. Honestly, get over yourself and finger a girl.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Cheat on him.
Well, don't cheat on him.
Well, cheat on him.
Okay.
Okay. Some of these ones I can tell are not going to be it. So let's do another email. How does that sound? Mm-hmm. All right, we have to find one because I have been... Oh. Talking Stage went mental update. Oh my God, remember the guy who went to a mental hospital? Oh! We have an update. Hey guys, I wanted to give you guys a quick update. Noah texted me a few weeks ago about the AirPods. We decided to... So this was the girl that like she went on a date with the guy a couple of times. He went to the mental hospital. She had like his AirPods and his stuff like that. And she was wondering if she should reach out. You know, that. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We decided to meet up and exchange stuff. In the meantime, we went on a holiday and he told me he was doing much better. Okay, so you didn't follow the advice at all. We went on holiday together. Okay, he's a little psycho. Today, we met in the city and grabbed some coffee. I had decaf because I was too fucking nervous and shaky. Unimportant detail. And I had a decaf latte because, you know, you guys all know that I get shaky. It's like, no, just tell the story what happened to Noah. Okay, is he in the hospital or what? I mean, he's crazy. I was kind of afraid that he would only want his stuff back and leave, but I was wrong. We talked about what had happened while we weren't in contact, and we were actually having quite good vibes after everything went down. We went and sat down for some burgers. Weren't very good, lol. Okay, I don't care about the food you're eating. This is crazy. Okay, we found someone I think we found somebody else who's meant to be in the hospital. We went and grabbed some burgers. They really weren't good. Okay, we don't care about the burgers. Okay.
It was raining on a Tuesday.
Yeah. And updated each other about our lives. We also talked about his mental health, and he seemed to be doing quite good. Overall, it was fun seeing him again. Right before he took the train back home, I decided, fuck it, I'll actually give him the letter because why not? I think we told you not to give him the letter. Not even with the intention for a comeback, but rather because I thought he should have it, and so he knows I appreciated him. Well, short after that, he texted me, and he's the one who wants to come back. We're actually going to meet up tomorrow again and want to see how things will go. By the way, I'm not from the UK. Ha ha ha. IDK why I said trousers, but I'm indeed from Europe. You can guess where I am. P.S. Anonymous, thanks. Okay. Boring. So you didn't follow the advice. Great. Okay. And by the way, good luck to you and him, to be honest. But, you know, men lie about their mental health. Things will look really good. And then all of a sudden... advice because I'm fucking crazy. Hi, King. I love your TikTok vids and just started the pod. I'm dealing with a how do you say this word? Heinous. Heinous. When I was reading it, I couldn't say it. I'm dealing with this heinous shit and had to write in. I had to Google how to make an anonymous email account because this might be criminal. I don't know. Ooh. Here's the goss. Usually gossip isn't criminal, but so in college, I'm at a pretty damn good school, and my freshman year, spring, this boy went after me. Like, walked me to class, rode the bus to the airport with me just to ride it back so we could be together. That is a red flag. Right? Don't you feel like when guys are like that, you're kind of like, why are you doing all of this? Mm-hmm. They think it's romantic, but it's like scary. Wearing a beaded bracelet I was making, don't ask, I was cosplaying being white, so he asked me to be his girlfriend officially at dinner. It's all happy summer break. He visits me while I'm at my internship. Fall sophomore year comes, and we were inseparable, so much so that I was doing his homework for him. Whoa. I would never do my man's homework. Okay. I don't know. He was so sad about struggling in his business classes, and I'm a computer science girl, so this shit was easy. Why are you immediately picking up your boyfriend's problems? He's sad about his homework. Grow up. What kind of man are you going to ever respect if you have to do his homework for him? What are you, his fucking mom? I'm in the computer science class, and it gave us more time to hang. It gave us more time to hang out while I did his homework. Shut up. If he was starting blankly at 2 + 2, I need to fast forward to get to the point of sophomore year was good. I met his family. They loathed Bostonians. His mom was way too excited about me. She bought me a Ninja Creamy. Oh, that's actually, by the way, and a Hermes spoon for my birthday. Okay, they're rich. A Ninja Creamy. Have you ever had one? I have one in the house. You can make ice cream yourself. And if you're on, like, I have, like, eating disorder stuff, so I make, like, diet-free ice cream. And it's so good. But you can make regular ice cream, too, but I never would do that. An Hermes spoon though is, it's probably the cheapest thing at Hermes, but she did get it for you. Okay. Junior year, we moved in together because the school doesn't have housing and we're paying 50-50 for a 3-bed, 2-bath, and he pays all the amenities. Meanwhile, I'm still doing most of his assignments, and we throw a pre and post Halloween party for a How do you ever feel good about yourself, like as a man, being like, oh, my girlfriend does all my assignments? I mean, is he a college jock? That'd be one thing if he was like a football guy who had no brain cells, and you're like, well, he's carrying the team. I mean, that's different to me. Like, I don't think this guy is that. We throw a pre and post for Halloween party at a frat. At the post, I'm tired. I go upstairs while the post is downstairs. At like 3 a.m., I wake up to throw up, to assume everyone's gone. I hear him talking to a girl. I sleuthed my way to the top of the stairs and saw his hands down her pants and both their shirts off. I went and threw up for multiple reasons and spent the next hour silently crashing out. But I am not stupid. I knew I needed to get my lick back. I don't know what that means. Here's the real question: Did I get my lick back too hard? What does that mean?
I've never heard that.
It's got to be some weird slang. That's European slang or something.
I think she's in Boston. Did I get my lick back?
Oh, that makes sense. That's like a fucking Boston.
Yeah. Did I get my lick back?
I get my fucking gold.
First, his upcoming assignment, I blatantly used ChatGPT and turned it in. I have his Canvas login. 2, I started putting scissors through his thin ass walls in place that he wouldn't look, so the deposit is gone. 3, I immediately got a sublet for the spring term and started silently packing my shit. 4, once he got his AI infraction, you went full Terminator. Okay, I kind of love this. He got a 0 and got super mad at me for screwing him. I showed him pictures of him and the same girl my friends had taken around campus the last 3 weeks. Yeah, it wasn't a one-night thing. And told him I'm moving out. My name wasn't on the lease, and I had already Instagram DM'd his mom all the evidence. My friends came, we took his shit. I slept on their couch for a month until the term was over, and I literally haven't seen him again. Also weeks ago, his ex-best friend came on the Hermes spoon, and I have a pic of me toasting our relationship pinky. Wait. Whatever, I know I'm crazy. I hear the devil and the angel right now. 1, oh, it's just college internship relationship. Men are stupid, they cheat on me. 2, you were with me for 2 years, and I had a fucking dairy ring in his bum ass. I never would have, whatever. I dated every single photo of him, but oh my God. Oh, yeah, you sent me a picture. He's, like, nasty looking. Okay,
Did she say that she had his friend come on that spoon that the ex's mom gave him?
Yeah, I believe she said, also 2 weeks ago, his ex-best friend came on the Hermes spoon. I have a pic of me toasting to our relationship, pinky up before, whatever. I know I'm crazy. I love that. Honestly.
like it's a medicine. She took, like, a tablespoon of cum.
Yeah. I'm actually obsessed with you. I'm obsessed with you. I think that is so cool. You went full Terminator mode. You, by the way, you were so drunk you woke up. What a special relationship to with God that you woke up in the middle of the night to throw up and you saw your boyfriend with his hands down the pants of a different girl. I mean, that was God waking you up saying, like, go get him. And you didn't freak out. You just threw up. You came up with a plan. And you ruined his life. Good for you. Because you know what? You shouldn't have been doing all of his homework. And this is a good lesson for you, that you should never be doing extra work for a man that is like giving you the bare minimum or even giving you everything. You shouldn't be doing his work. That's absolutely ridiculous. And you should be with a guy who can do his own work. How pathetic. How do you fuck a guy after you've done all of his homework? Being like, it's just embarrassing. I love that you fucked him over with his test. I love that you fucking hooked up and had his best friend come on the spoon and you like poked holes all in the walls with scissors and he's not going to get his deposit back. I mean, you are a smart young woman and this is what more girls need to start doing, choosing violence, ruining these guys' lives. I think men think they can just like break up with you and you're going to be like, oh, well, she's crazy or whatever. And you're like, yeah, I am fucking crazy. And I love that. So congratulations. I think I'm really proud of you. And you shouldn't do this again. But remember, next time that guy's asking for that much, you know what I mean? Don't do it. Mm-hmm. I don't have any advice for you because you handle yourself. What are we at time-wise?
38.
Okay, so this one's called 71 Comments Under Are We Dating the Same Guy? Ooh. Mm. Hey, Dylan, tier 2 girly, unfortunately. I mean, it's not unfortunate. You can't buy it's $5 a month. So you guys would love to hear this on the tube if you tell it. Anyways, when I was 18, I started sleeping with a 36-year-old I met off Facebook dating. huge mistake with 36 and with Facebook dating. I know, so dumb of me. And his opening line was a picture of his cock with the message, "Would you?" It was huge, so I naturally was interested. That's crazy. And would sleep with guys quite often, not really thinking much of it or our time together until I really started feeling weird about the age gap thing. Like, this man was 18, a legal adult literally when I was born. So I told him that we shouldn't be doing this, and he was pissed. Would message me mean things all the time and call me a bitch or a dumb slut or just plain nasty. I never unadded him or blocked him. I don't know what I was thinking. I must have no self-worth because I was relentless every few weeks. Finally, he had stopped. Then 8 months ago, he said he was moving and would like to see me, so I went, and he didn't want to sleep with me. He just wanted to talk and learn things about me. That's manipulation. He doesn't want to do either one of those things. So for like a week, almost every day, he'd take me on long drives and we'd just talk. I never thought much about it until he messaged me after he moved away how sorry he was, or he just used me, and he never actually got to know me or how mean he was. I didn't mind the apology, but every few months now he'd message me again saying he'd miss my body, and nasty things about me kind of made me miss this guy. Until I got accepted to this lovely Facebook group called Are We Dating the Same Guy? And curious me decided to put his name in the, just for funsies. Well, wouldn't you know, 71 comments from 71 different women, all with dirt on this loser. Like identical messages from women all. Okay, yeah, I mean, I think I would have fallen for him, but sorry, there was pictures. You're very pretty, but like, and I'm not going to blame you because you were an 18-year-old girl, but like, the guy, you talk a guy and then you feel uncomfortable about it, and then afterwards you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. It makes me uncomfortable. And he calls you a bitch and all this nasty stuff. Don't go on long drives with him and block him immediately. If someone's talking to you like that, there's no reason to like hear them out or get an apology. I mean, to me, it sounds like he heard about the Are We Dating the Same Guy thing, started getting nervous that he was fucking young girls, and was like, oh, I'm going to try to smooth over this relationship with this one girl because there are probably allegations about him, so that you can be like, no, he's actually a good guy. We actually went on these long drives, and everything this man did with you was manipulation. So yeah, if a guy's calling you nasty names and like after you see you don't want to have sex with him, block him. There is no reason to like get to know somebody who treats you like shit. Jesus Christ. Some of you girls give way too many chances, and it's crazy. You have anything to say, Ariel?
No, yeah, he sounds really awful.
Okay, this one's called Hell.
What?
What? It's crazy though, right?
Yeah, no, that was just funny. Do you have anything to say, Ariel? No, he sounds awful. He does. He sounds like a
Okay, this one's kind
bad
of
guy.
He sounds like an awful guy. Help me decipher dudes, please. Hi, Dylan, Ariel, and Josh. Resending this as I realized I didn't include subject or pics. Yeah, thank you for resending. First off, finding you on Instagram and listening to the podcast have been my top highlights of 2025 so far, so thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Second, I'm writing this email because I don't understand some guy-related stuff, and I'm hoping you can give me some clarity, please, and thank you. So, and we have two guys here, one gay, one straight, and a girl who's been through the ringer, and so we're So I keep having this reoccurring theme with men in my life where they chase me, slide into my DMs, ask for my number, message, ring me to hang, talk about things they want to do with me in the future, non-sexual, and then out of the blue, with no explanation, they just disappear. What I don't understand is why this keeps happening to me. I'm not especially attractive. Guys often tell me that I'm interesting or unusual or intriguing. Don't tend to post many selfies, and if I do, they're not thirst traps. I'm very annoying politically and post a lot about on my socials and can't flirt to save my life. Haven't been sexually active in 10 months, so it's not like I'm known for sleeping around or anything. That's not, even if you were known for sleeping around, that's fine. And you shouldn't care about, I think already you care way too much what men think, but not that I think it would be bad if I did. It's just that this isn't a reason for dudes' behavior. Okay. So by the way, men just say that online, like they really care about girls' body counts and all that kind of stuff. The second they're horny, they don't give a fuck. And that's just like that crazy right wing shit that's taking care over America. Do you care about body counts?
No.
It's for children. If you hear a guy that's talking about body counts, they're like a literal child.
I think there's a limit. I will say that. Like 100 something is like, to me, it's kind of crazy. That's all I'll say. That's my viewpoint. Anything less than that is, I don't care.
Well, as a gay man, I can say that I don't think 100's that high. Well, I haven't had sex with 100 guys, but I've definitely hooked up with over 100 guys. So, yeah, cut that out.
Do you
Leave
want
it
me
in.
to?
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed. So why do they keep entering my life, getting me interested, and then bailing me out of the blue? Because they'll go away for a bit and then pop back up, message me wanting to catch up and hang out or whatever. But before doing the same thing again, I've blocked them. Sometimes they'll even use different numbers or accounts. I mean, obviously it's sex related, but I don't sleep with any of these dudes or send suggestive messages. So not only do I not understand what's happening, but I also feel like it's a really cruel way of treating somebody. Probably quite melodramatic of me. So who just minds their own business? And how do I break this weird little cycle? I've been on my IG on private, post barely any selfies, have stopped engaging, but when they randomly message me again, they don't seem to be deterred. Hope that's not too waffly or lame. Thank you if needed. Well, she sent pictures too. Well, you are pretty. Okay, well, I think you answered your own question in this, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I mean, number one, it is a sex thing. I mean, you said this. You said, well, number one, you said you're annoying politically, and nobody likes that. And that's just the truth. I mean, like, as someone who's like incredibly liberal, I mean, sometimes liberal people are so fucking annoying with talking. It's like they want to be jerked off for their ideas. It's like, yeah, we all agree. Everybody's a human. Shut the fuck up and watch the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, God damn it. It's so annoying. It's like, you know, whatever. You could imagine she's like a conservative. She's like, no, a different.
Build the wall.
yeah. She's like, no, I want to build the wall. I'm like, no, leave. You literally said you don't know how to flirt and you don't know how to engage. You haven't had sex in like 10 months, which is completely fine. But do you think that maybe when you're hanging out with these guys or you're chatting with them, you're giving such a walled off energy of I'm not interested that they are kind of feeling like, oh, so they're like, well, what's the point of keep trying? I'm not getting a single vibe from this girl. That's how I took it. I took it as like, you're putting out this energy of like, I'm good to everybody. You say you don't know how to flirt. You don't know how to do all these things. I think you're just energy's off, and I don't think that you're open to actually having a relationship or meeting somebody. I think you have like a defense mechanism protecting yourself, and because the weird thing is they come back after a while. If they weren't coming back after a while, I would be like, yeah, they don't like you, but they are circling back just to try again. And I think you're walling these people off before they get a chance to even try. You know, you're not letting them try, right? Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, I guess it depends on what she's looking for too, because it's like if she's not interested in them romantically, did she say that she was interested in them?
She didn't. She just said like if you're not interested in them. I mean, if you're interested in them, you need to learn how to date. But like,
right.
But it doesn't seem like you are. You also look gay. I'll say that you do look like gay. I can't imagine that you're 100% straight, and so maybe you don't realize that you're gay, and that's the whole problem, is that you're like, I don't know how to flirt with men. And it's like, maybe date women based on your hair and your jean jacket. But just to be brutally honest, but you have a big old nose piercing and curly hair. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that if from a man's perspective, if I was interested in somebody romantically and I tried pursuing them and then it wasn't vibing, I would be like, well, I don't want to. You also don't want to be the creepy guy that keeps hitting up a lady that's clearly not interested.
Yeah, but they're still circling back to be like, hey.
Yeah, and that's just men being gross. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a sex thing. It's
a
100%
sex thing.
They 100% want to have sex with you, but I think you're walling off their energy. So yeah, if you don't like them, block them. If you do like them, send them a tit pic. I don't know. I mean, it seems like you don't know what to do. Do you want to have sex with these guys?
That's the question. You have to ask that question to yourself.
Yeah. Touch yourself. Okay. I don't think we read this one, but I think I opened it because this was actually my arch enemy's name in high school. When I got the email, I was like, I go, did she email me for the podcast? But I just looked at the picture and it's not her. But it said, was my ex low-key gay? And then she actually put bullet points, which I actually think is really great. So what are we at time-wise?
48.
Okay, we'll do this last one and then we'll move over to the Patreon. From the same girl, I'm not going to say your name, but if you're reading this and then you sent it on my birthday, you have the same name as the girl I hated in high school. Okay. Bought a vibrator and dildo, and the same guy I had hooked up with a few times wanted to see them. I sent a pic and he literally said, that doesn't look like my dick. Okay. A few years ago, I started talking to a guy who lived in Austin while I lived in Oregon. We had known each other on social media for a while and then saw each other once he was passing through Oregon. We hooked up and the dick size was pretty dang good, so I didn't want it to just stop there. I flew out to see him in Austin with moving in back in my mind, and it was great. We hooked up tons more, and something I really liked was that he was very comfortable using toys in the bedroom and exploring kinks. Anywho, I met a ton of friends and I felt I should make the move, so I moved there like 2 months later. Then I found out that he'd been talking to a girl with the same name for a year and never actually dated because she lives in Canada. He was like, I'm confused and trying to figure out what I want. So he flew to Canada to see her and told him I was over it, and then started dating a girl I was friends with, the whole friend group of people he was friends with. So this is so confusing. One night he at the house, he shared with 3 other roommates. We were all drinking and having a good time, but then I got a little more drunk and I should have, and went into a room, laid on his bed, and refused to get off and told him I moved to Austin for him. Big mistake. That's everyone's scared that you just said that. Okay, that's getting drunk, laying on somebody's bed, refusing to get off, and then announcing that you moved to Austin for somebody is not cute. No offense, but like I've been there. Actually, I haven't, but that was one thing that he wanted to promise me I didn't do because he would have felt like the biggest asshole ever. So I said that was not very cool of me, but I did laugh at it now because he deserved it after all the mind games and roller coasters of emotion. Haven't talked to him since. Plus, he and that girl broke up. Plus, he moved back home, but I hope he's good. Okay. Before the story above, I moved to Missouri for a man, silly me. He had just lost his job, but in the 6 months I was there, he had lied to me the entire time about job leads and interviews. I had finally looked up the company he last told me he was interviewing with, and it literally didn't exist. He must have thought I was stupid. Okay. He was slightly homophobic because it was blatant or anything. Okay. I don't know if he was gay, but I know that you make really bad decisions in relationships. And this is that you are moving across the country for multiple guys who you just fucked, or what. A guy didn't have a job and you still moved in with him. I mean, you're saying all these guys are the problem. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think you need to look inward because I think you have a really bad picker. I think you're picking the wrong guys. I would never move across the country for a man. I mean, that is so crazy. Not crazy like bad, but like, you guys have to start centering yourselves and stop and decenter men, because I hear girls talk about this all the time. You guys have to stop. This is crazy. You moved from Oregon to Austin because this guy had a good dick. I mean, wake up. That's crazy. And then you moved in with a guy to Missouri and he had just lost his job, and you thought, I know what I'll do. I'll go take care of this man in Missouri while he has job leads. That's crazy. Okay, now I'm pissed. We have to move over to Patreon. Sorry. I mean, come see me live. But this episode's done. You guys, let's send pictures of the guys. Okay, didn't we say that?
Yeah,
and dick sizes.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, that was all those emails, I will say, were older emails, because I had reached some people had messaged me saying like, oh, you never read my email, so I went out into the back. We haven't even gotten to the new emails, which I think are going to be, I wanted to save them for the Patreon because I thought they were like pretty good, and I was like, sorry, but if you want the good emails, you gotta sign up for the Patreon.
Yeah, and that's patreon.com/Feelin Girlie.
Oh my god, update anal prude. Okay, we're doing Patreon.
Patreon.
All right, bye guys.